Here you go. Good, beautiful Sunday morning here in Manila. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Hey Adam G, your online Queenspirational talk show. And we're still on with my Miss USA 2022 live chat series. And today we have a very amazing and beautiful woman who I am going to interview in a little while. You know what? To be honest, there's a saying that one's altitude determines your attitude in life. And if we're going to base it from her incredible resume, wow, this girl is definitely set up for success. Yup, after graduating with a degree in political science from Seattle University, this woman has never stopped in seeking a lot of career opportunities to empower herself as an individual. Yeah, she has her own talk show, online talk show that tackles women leadership, and she has also worked or founded a nonprofit organization that helps eliminate self sex trafficking and has her hands full as a social media manager for a company right now. So wow, what an incredible resume. She is really determined to achieve her goals and has always been passionate and active in stretching herself in achieving success. So I can't wait to talk to her. So here she is, live all the way from Washington, from the state of Washington, on a beautiful Saturday evening over there. Please say hello to Miss Washington, USA 2022, Mazzy Eckel. Hi, Mazzy.
Hello, everyone. I'm so glad to be here. I am so excited for this interview.
Thank you.
I'm so excited.
Thank you. Sorry, that was a very long intro. I'm just captivated.
No, you
As
did amazing. Thank you. You did amazing.
I'm just really captivated by your beauty and your powerful resume at the
Oh,
same time.
thank
Yeah.
you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So, guys, you know what? Don't you think she looks so beautiful? It's just it's just an injustice that her laptop cannot do justice to how incredible she is right now. Did
I'm sorry
look
about my
oh,
Wi-Fi. It's not the best.
that's okay. Imagine how much more she will look like more in person if we get the chance to meet her up close and personal. Oh my God, she looks so beautiful. Did you style yourself for tonight's interview? This kind of
Yes,
styling looks good on you. Straight hair. Actually,
thank you.
I kinda you kinda resemble of a Filipina biracial model here in Manila, Georgina
Hmm.
Wilson. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So
I
yeah,
think
I
her
see.
then.
Yeah, she's really beautiful as well. So, first
Thank
of all, I
you.
would like to thank you for giving me the chance to interview you. Thank you for gracing this interview with your
Sure.
time and effort. It really means a lot to me. Thank you so much to your national director, Maureen Francisco, and your
Maureen
trainer, Giselle Boone,
Francisco.
for for
Yes, you
making
just met
this
her.
happen.
You just saw her.
Yeah, thank you so much for just gracing my interview with your sheer beauty and your luminous
No, thank you
presence.
so much. Thank you.
So,
I appreciate it.
I've been hearing a lot of great things about you. And since this is our
Mm.
first time to meet, and my viewers as well, so I would like to ask, so can you give a little intro about yourself uh, in terms of age, height, what do you do in life, your occupation, and your interests?
Yes, of course. So my name is Mazzy Eckel. I am Miss Washington USA 2022, and I'll be representing Washington on the Miss USA stage in just about a month and a half, so super close. I am 5'8". I am 22 years old, and I am currently involved in social media marketing, consulting, I do have a degree in political science, so that's a big part of my background. I've worked on several different campaigns in Seattle, working as a social media and content creator for certain candidates in Washington. And I hope to gain more experience in the marketing consulting business by uplifting smaller businesses, working with them, strategizing, really building my resume, and then going back and working for another political candidate, but with a stronger resume.
Guys, did you just hear that? Wow. I feel like she already knows what she wants in life. I'm curious to ask, how were you able to um set that direction for yourself despite your young age? Like, wow, if we just look at the resume or the intro that you just heard, wow, you have accomplished so many things at such a young age. How old are you right now? 23?
22. 22. I
22.
just turned
See?
22.
How much more can you accomplish in the next 20 years?
Oh, so much. Like write a book. I want to be in a movie, own a talk show, maybe go to Mars. You never know what happens.
Yeah, so as I was doing my research about you, so you've always wanted to become a beauty queen since you have been competing in pageants all your life, right? How did it all begin for you?
Yes.
What sparked the interest for you in pageantry?
It started with me just having an experience, a bond with my father. So my dad, he really has always watched Miss Universe, has enjoyed it. We watched it a lot when I was younger. And one day when I was about 14 years old, he was like, "Hey, do you want to compete in a pageant?" And was like, what I knew about what pageants were, but I didn't really know that there was a teen pageant or a teen portion. So it really started out as a way for us to bond, to spend time together, picking out dresses. My dad's in finance, so he taught me a lot about entrepreneurship, and I would raise my own money for my entrance fee by going to different businesses in New Jersey and just promoting myself. So he really pushed me to have this entrepreneurial spirit. And after that, it became just like a passion for me. I realized this was something that I wanted. I really didn't have a calling in life until pageants. I wasn't involved in sports. I wasn't great at playing an instrument. I didn't really have that thing that was mine that I felt passionate about until I found pageants at age 14. Then I was like, okay, I think I'm hooked to this, and the rest is just history.
You know, wow, that's one interesting story to hear about. Your dad was the one who put that
Mhm.
seed of interest in your heart to pursue passion, because usually it's always the mom. When I interview aspiring beauty queens, it's always the mom, the aunt, the sisters, but
Yes.
you, it's your dad. Oh, I have to meet your dad. Is he also a true blue pageant
Yeah.
fan? Yeah, so over the years as you
He
watched
loves pageants. He's super.
all right, yeah. Yeah, so over the years as you watch beauty pageants, so which beauty queens or former Miss USA slash Miss Universe title holders have you looked up to or you admire the most?
Oh my gosh, I've been in love with Pia Catriona, Olivia Colpo. I think she was one of my first Miss USAs that I was really just in love with. Also, I love Deshauna Barber. I've loved Deshauna Barber since she won Miss USA a few years back, and her strength and just power and her women empowerment. And she was probably one of the first Miss USAs that I got really involved in. I watched her reign. I still keep up to her to this day. And then for Miss Universe, I really love Den Lee. We have the same middle name Lee, so that's kind of why. But I've always been in love with Demi Lee and her style. And even now, I think she's an advocate for anti-human trafficking with her husband, if not mistaken.
So for sure you can connect or identify with her easily.
Yes,
Oh,
we have
that's
the same middle
nice.
name,
So
so I kind of have to.
for sure eventually you'll get to meet her in person because she's now based there in Florida with her husband. Yeah. So,
Amazing.
yeah. So, how are you preparing for your upcoming competition right now? How is Giselle Boone whipping you up? for your competition?
Well, it's really mostly a mental game, I've realized. It's about how to mentally be prepared, not only for your self esteem, but how do you react in stressful situations? Because even though Miss USA is so rewarding and leads to so many different opportunities, it is a very stressful environment. So I've been mostly not only focusing on interview and walking, but putting a lot of time and energy every single day to manifest, to calm myself, to bring myself into this awareness with my body and make my body a home. So when I do enter these very stressful situations, I always have myself to lean back on. I always have Giselle, but I always have myself as well to just calm myself down and find that little home in my body. So it really is mostly mental, I would say. And then also interview and walking too.
For everyone who's not familiar with Giselle Boone yet, Giselle was also the same trainer of Miss Idaho USA 2020 Kim Lane, the half Filipino America who represented
Yes.
Idaho in Miss USA, who almost
Yeah.
won Miss USA 2 years ago. So you are in good hands.
Yeah, I am. I actually love Kim. I've met her multiple different times and she's amazing. And the last year before I won, I got third place, second runner up. And she came up to me with her boyfriend, was like, "Oh my gosh, I was rooting for you. I want you to win." And she's always been such a supporter. And I think that it really did light a spark for the PNW pageants and Pageant Northwest to really push the girls to move forward and show that even though we're not a finalist state or finalist few states usually, if we have this hard work and determination and we have this drive and really push ourselves to be elevated, we can achieve Miss USA. We can achieve a top 5 placement. I truly do believe that.
Yeah, when was the last time Washington placed so high in Miss USA? I cannot recall already,
It's
right?
definitely been a while. It's definitely been a while.
It's been
I don't
definitely a
even know.
while.
I don't
Yeah.
remember it. It hasn't happened probably for years or so.
Yeah. So there's a question
Let's
here.
see. Oh, there's a question.
There's a question here from our viewers who are watching us right now. Hi, Jefferson Magbanwa. Let's engage some of them. So let's tackle this question from Jefferson Magbanwa. He says, "Hi, are you pressured to secure a semifinal spot for Washington and Miss USA?"
Hi, Jefferson. It's so nice to see you, and thank you for that question. I wouldn't say I feel pressured. I say that I definitely believe that I have the abilities to secure a finalist spot, and a lot of people around me do believe that I do too. So it's not necessarily pressured. It's more like I feel like it's in my hands and is obtainable. So it's less about pressure, more about I know that I have the ability to do so. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of people are in fact putting you in a lot of fan leaderboards or on their pre-arrival first leaderboards for Miss USA. So have you been seeing those on your have you been getting tagged a lot lately because of that? And how are you feeling about it?
I have been getting tagged a lot. I don't look at those things, to be honest. I don't follow a bunch of pageant bloggers. I don't look at that stuff. I really just try to focus my mind mentally and making sure that I'm sticking to my own lane and watching what I'm doing rather than what the predictions are, because oftentimes they're not always accurate. And I feel so grateful and so happy that I'm getting so much recognition. I'm really definitely grateful for it. But I feel that even if I wasn't getting recognition, I still would feel that I am a front runner and that I'm a force to be reckoned with. So thank you so much for all that pressure and added recognition, guys. I really do love that. Thank you.
Uh yeah, we really see the substance and the depth that you possess as a Miss USA contestant. Yeah. So I can really foresee you doing well in the competition. So there's another question here from Jade Talingting. Hi Adam, hi Mazzy. You look so gorgeous. What do you think is your strong attributes that separates you from the rest of the girls?
Hi, Jade. Thanks so much for that question. Thank you so much for commenting on my looks. Thank you. I believe my strong attributes. I am an academic. I'm a very intelligent woman, and that's not to say that any other women are not intelligent as well. But the way that I bring my intelligence and my experience to the plate is very, very different via my talk show, Pursuing Leadership, and being able to advocate it in a way that's not only fun but relatable, and people really enjoy learning what I have to speak about through podcasts and through my Instagram. So I feel that I'm able to present myself in a very different, new, fresh, and rebrand way.
Oh yeah. Now that you met, I'm glad that you raised that. You raised that point because as I was doing a lot of research about you, yeah, you've been doing an online podcast here on Instagram, right? About where's that ticker tape there? About women leadership, or at least feature a lot of
Mhm.
successful individuals or leaders in Washington about attaining success. Yeah. So how did it all come about for you? What made you take up take up that very, very vital trait that one should have in our society?
I have always been in love with journalism, talk shows. Oprah Winfrey was one of my her talk show Oprah was one of my favorite shows as a child, and I just love the confidence these women are displaying. So when I finally had the courage to start my own podcast over 2 years ago, it was about leadership, and it still is about leadership, but I've been able to interview so many different people, ranging from people who are fighting human trafficking, who are talking about depression, who are talking about homelessness. I actually just uploaded a podcast last week where my friend and I, who she is a very huge activists in California and Washington, we spoke about the history of homelessness, not only in the US, but also in Cuba too. So I started this podcast as a fun way to get connected with my platform, Pursuing Leadership, but it's transformed into being an avenue where I can feature people and their passions. It's not necessarily a podcast for myself to display myself. It's become something that I'm able to have a launch pad for other people who are wanting to get involved in advocacy or maybe grow their business. I've been able to use my resources to promote other people in Washington and other countries too, and around the US as well.
Have you always been uh, have you possessed this leadership skills ever since as a kid? That's why it sparked a lot of interest about you on this. That even now, as a career-oriented woman, you have been very proactive and passionate about talking about it and helping a lot of
Mhm.
your fellow people in your community back there.
I'm going to be honest. No, I didn't grow up with these leadership skills. And I think a lot of people do expect me from the volume of what I'm doing right now to have these skills. But it was really realizing that I had a vision of where I want to go with my life. And if I didn't push myself, no one else would. So I actually started advocating for my own self when I was younger and seeing this passion and this dream of being Miss USA, competing at Miss USA stage. And from my journey with being in pageants, the one thing that kept on sticking out of my mind was leadership and the importance of leadership, and how leadership is so nuanced and it's not talked about in different ways like the way that I am talking about it now. So I was not always this way, I can promise you that, but I definitely am proud of the journey that I'm on right now. And just even reflecting back a year from right now, and I've changed so much mentally, professionally, and even my personal life. So I've definitely transformed myself a lot in the past few years.
That's true. You know, I think you're creating a huge impression among young aspiring beauty queens out there to really find it in themselves to lead, spearhead, advocate for something that they are truly passionate about. So, is there, among all the things that you have accomplished so far, is there one single activity that is standing out to you that you can say to yourself that I'm so proud of it because I led, you know, it inspired me to become a leader. It allowed me to showcase my leadership skills, among many other things.
Yes, I am an avid traveler and I haven't been able to travel outside the country since the pandemic. But when I was 19 years old, I lived abroad and I studied comparative politics in London. So I was involved with parliament, studying the UK system versus the US system in medical and academically and healthcare wise and all different things. And I was alone practically out there for 2 months, but I was so driven by the ability and the want to travel and to experience new cultures and really be able to incorporate that to my own future role as working in politics. So that was it was tough for me being alone in a new city and working alongside people that had different cultures, different backgrounds than I did. But I saw the importance of being independent, and I knew that this would be an amazing thing for my resume.
Which countries have you visited so far? So in each country that you visited, you've been going to meeting a lot of heads of state or people from the government, officials from the government to talk about political initiatives and other similar topics.
So I've been to a lot of countries. I've been to 21 so far in the past, I would say 5 years, 5 or 6 years. And the two that I was really involved in the community was in London. I was very involved there. And then I actually volunteered in Costa Rica for 4 weeks, where I was involved with this youth group that we went to schools. We taught kids how to play soccer and paint and math. And it was this one school that housed 60 kids from ages 4 to 12. So I volunteered there for 2 weeks. And then the other 2 weeks, I actually volunteered at a senior center and we were helping rebuilding their streets and paint their signs and really get involved with the senior citizens there. So those are two experiences where I've been very heavily involved in the community. And I just want to travel so badly and get back out there because those memories I obtain from being in those countries really transformed me. Every time I came back from Costa Rica and then I came back from London 3 years ago when I was traveling around, I was a vastly different person with new experiences. So I got invited to go to Egypt last week and I was like, oh, I want to go so badly. But obviously, with Miss USA coming up, I have to prioritize that. I love traveling so much, Adam. I miss it much.
Maybe after Miss USA, you can finally travel to Egypt.
Yes,
But
hopefully.
yeah. So for now, it's London, which stands out to you as your favorite country among the 21 countries that you've been to in the past 6 years.
Hmm. Actually, it's Morocco.
Morocco.
It's
Oh,
Morocco. Yeah, I traveled to Morocco for 3 weeks and went to Spain for a week after that with one of my best friends, Moroccan. And it just was so gorgeous and beautiful. And we made some really great memories there. So I am definitely living on those memories and I need to go back to Morocco or another Muslim country soon because it just is
yeah.
gorgeous and you can't get that beat anywhere. I also want to go to the Philippines too. I want to go to the Philippines. I've been wanting to do that for so long.
Yeah, we're finally open to a lot of tourists after 2 years of being shut down due to the
Yes.
pandemic. Yeah, we're fine. Yeah, probably one day you can try out our world famous beaches, which are comparable to the ones there in Bahamas or anywhere in the Caribbean. Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, one day.
That's
Yeah, Giselle can probably accompany you someday here in the
Woo!
Philippines. Yeah, and there's a question here since we've been talking about a lot of topics that are quite political by nature, or topics that have something to do with politics, leadership, traveling.
Mhm.
So there's this question from Jade again. He asks, this question bothers me up until now, but what are your thoughts about Asian discrimination or Stop Asian Hate?
Yes. Hi, Jay. Thanks so much for asking me that question. And I am sorry that this is bothering you or something that you're facing. I don't believe in discrimination of anybody whatsoever. I think it's horrible and terrible. And I know I have a lot of friends who are Asian and face a lot of discrimination due to COVID-19 pandemic and people just being just plain out racist and rude. And I grew up in a very, very diverse neighborhood in New Jersey when I was younger. And it's hatred. People who are acting like this and acting out like this are just have hatred in their own hearts and their lives. And I just don't believe you should discriminate against anyone and that we should always lead our lives with love because you're going to lose out on a bunch of different experiences and the ability to connect with other people's cultures if you're just being plain out racist. So I condemn racism at any level, against any race, against any culture. It is not okay to me at all.
Yeah, and I think we need leaders, incoming or future leaders like you, to help
Yes.
us break down those hard hitting or very, very complex topics. Especially now that we are in this age where everything can be just easily be blown out of proportion, especially if you have no knowledge of what
Yes.
the issue is all about. So, we've been talking about leadership skills and how one possessing it can really change lives in terms of helping a lot of people in her community. So, apart from that, what benefits do you think have you received from all these from talking to the interviewing all these individuals and being an advocate for a lot of things?
It really makes you a better understanding person and a happier person, I believe. When you're exposed to the horrors that life has and the troubles that some people face, you really do become more grateful for your own life. And I feel that some people who are more selfish or ungrateful or some bubble just have not experienced a life outside theirs. So I really would tell everyone who knows someone that may be feeling the ways I have described, tell them to volunteer, tell them to get active in their community and really see what's going on instead of just commenting on it. Because once they have those experiences and know what's happening in their community, such as, for example, I live in Seattle, Washington, and one of our biggest issues is homelessness. And
Yes.
I would say at least half of everyone who is in Seattle or lives outside of Seattle really has no heart for homeless people, has no heart, thinks they're trash, thinks that they have no life and they're worthless. But those people don't interact with homeless people. They don't know anyone who's homeless. So it's hard to really sympathize with them. But for me, I take a different approach with my activism since I do work with people who have been human trafficked and an intersectionality of human trafficking is homelessness or drug abuse. So I have worked with women who are homeless and I see their humanity and I'm able to have those experiences. And even though I may have really hard days, I can still be grateful for my life and still be very relatable and sympathize with people who have worse and struggles in their life, worse than I have.
There are so many things that you said there that I want to tackle in. Like,
So
you said, homelessness, you mentioned there that homelessness is also one factor uh, as to why sex trafficking is very prevalent in our society right now. So, because I've always thought for the longest time that the issue only stems from the fact that there is a demand for prostitution. But I didn't realize that even homelessness could also be part of the problem or could
yes.
contribute to this problem. Yeah, now the more that I think about it, yeah, it makes sense. So I wonder, does your state, Washington, have good regulations or laws about homelessness? Because I asked this question because when I went there, when I went to LA last May to cover a pageant, I've been seeing I saw a lot of homeless people roaming around the streets, and someone told me that, California does not have good homeless laws for these people. So they're thinking, these homeless people, the government of California is thinking of shipping all of them out to somewhere in the East Coast, who has or which has great set of laws for homelessness. What can you say about it?
For the state of Washington, I know that we do have better laws in some states. However, homelessness is not an issue that's being dealt with. And I feel that many places around the country are not dealing with it. They're just shipping these people around the country to different states, and they're not actually producing a solution to it. It just hurts my heart that there are available resources right in front of us, and there are things that we really could help homelessness, but it's just not a popular thing to do. And like I said, people do think that people who are homeless are worthless and are not worth saving. So there hasn't been a solution that has fixed many lives or has produced a great amount of results that better than what has already happened. So it does hurt my heart that we're not really tackling situation, that we are continuously just putting a band-aid on it. It really sucks.
Yeah, yeah. I wish, your national government could really implement a single uniform rule about it, where there's really
Me too.
a single set of a set of a uniform set of rules for this topic
For
or
everyone.
issue. Actually for everyone. And you know what? There's also one thing that you said in your previous answer that also made me ask this follow-up question. Um, you're encouraging people to become more proactive, more passionate in what they're doing. And so, do you think volunteerism, like what you have been doing for the past, for the since you were a kid, is something that plays an important role in developing one's leadership skills? Or does
For sure.
volunteerism one of the factors that impact a woman's ability to lead others?
Yes, I do believe that it's such a huge issue, and people need to be active in their community to be a leader, because what's a leader without someone that people, if you're not relatable, if you can't relate to your constituents or your subjects. So for me, my journey of volunteerism, I started volunteering a lot in high school, actually, volunteering for my local medical center and volunteering just on different advocacies and volunteering in Costa Rica. And what I felt was that I actually started feeling happier within myself too, because when you are so stuck in your own life and you're focused on what you were doing, sometimes it can create anxieties or just can be very overwhelming. So when you're able to take yourself out of your own life and focus on helping others, you actually feel better inside. You feel like a better person. And that's what I would say to people who are considering getting involved in volunteering and being active, is that you really do become a better person when you volunteer, because you become relatable. You get to experience things that maybe you wouldn't experience in your own life if you weren't being a volunteer.
True. And you know what? It's about time that um we really need women leaders right now in our society, because I feel like when women have a different approach in solving things. Yeah, especially with the way we have seen past
Yes.
women world leaders tackle a lot of complex problems or issues in the world right now. And I'm just really
Mhm.
amazed how you have been very, very proactive in everything that you have been, or how you have been forging your life in your 22 years of existence in life. And I think as I did my research, I think we should thank your grandma for making that happen, for instilling that
Mhm.
spirit of service, because your grandma was also an advocate
Yes.
for women's rights once upon a time. So it runs in the
Yes, she
genes.
was. It
Oh,
does.
that's
So my great grandmother, her name is Ria Eckel, and she was a president of a college, an all girls college up in upstate New York. And I actually never met her, but in the past few years, I've been able to read so many books and articles about her. And she also has a computer lab at the college that was named after her. It's called Eckel Hall. And just like realizing that my advocacy comes from somewhere, I thought it just was nowhere, but realize that there is something in my bloodline that we are for women's rights. We are for advocating for the underprivileged. And so I really, really wish I got to meet her. I know she passed away before I was born, but it just feels so cool to know that I have someone in my lineage that is so experienced and really was she was the president of the college in the 60s, which is very unheard of for women. And she got a lot of criticism for that and her decisions, but the college is way better off than what it was before she was there. So I just think she's an amazing person.
She is, actually, what she kind of reminds me of Tara G. Henson's character in this movie called Hidden Figures, where the characters, I don't know if you know that movie. It's about her character was one of the reasons why uh US was very successful about its NASA launch, that cemented the country's race in the space race. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yes.
yeah, someone who's very empowered, especially at that time, 60s. What era was that? She already knows what she wants for herself and
Yeah.
leading others what to do for their respective lives, leading organizations. Yeah, women's rights. So yeah, it really runs in the genes. So, if you think, if you said you'd never met her, so if probably, if she could see you right now, what do you think she would be telling you?
Mm. She would say, keep pushing forward. She would say that she's very proud of me and to keep pushing forward because what I'm doing and what I'm advocating for and my projects I'm working on, such as my talk show, Pursuing Leadership, is important. It's important. And I need to recognize that as a woman that has so much going for her, be proud of what I am doing and take what I'm doing seriously.
Definitely, she'll be proud. She'll be proud for sure. Oh my God. She'll tell your parents, oh my God, you really raised her well. Not just to become an empowered individual, but a productive citizen of our country. I can see her that I can envision her
Mm-hmm.
saying that to your parents if given a chance. You really have a lot. You really have one powerful resume, and we already talk about your advocacy, your Genesis project, and your background as a model and a beauty queen. And now let's talk about your current occupation. It's very interesting. So, and it's very relevant. You're working as a social media manager right now for which company? And can you tell us more about it? Because it seems like a very exciting job.
Yes. So I am working with a startup as a social media manager, operations manager. So I do a lot with operations, only just for social media marketing, but a lot for how the company flows. It is a small startup, but it's been very, very fun. I am working alongside one of my best friends and being able to have this control because it is such a new company and being able to just play around with what works, what doesn't work, really making mistakes. You're supposed to make mistakes in the beginning. So I love having this freedom of working with such a new company and really developing my resume, my credentials on working on this new company.
That's nice. That's nice. And I think you have been applying everything that you have been working even on your socials, on your Instagram account. So, I wanna
Yes,
ask your
yes.
expertise on social media. Do you think social media helps a lot in a candidacy like yours in Miss USA? I wanna ask your opinion about it.
Yes, it does. It does for sure. I believe that now with social media being so big and so influential, the Miss USA competition is maybe even like 40% just social media. we have so many sponsors and we have so many fulfillments with sponsors such as Synogens or such as like our other brands like Best Buddies, our charity brand, or Smile Train. And there's a lot of pressure to make sure we're getting these posts up on time because everyone now is so in tune to using these social medias to get their information and to be connected with people. And I connect with so many of you guys, my fans and the pageant bloggers through social media. And even though social media is not 100% real and it's not fully who I am, I try my best to put my best self out there and really show in each of my posts and each of my reels and my captions who I am, pour my heart into it because some people are not going to meet me, some people will meet me. So I do really try to be as authentic and as a best version of myself on my social medias.
So what I'm getting from you is that is there is a conscious effort on your part to curate
Yes.
your
Yes.
socials.
Yes. 100%.
How
Yes.
important is it for a candidate like you to have a well curated feed on your platform, on your all across your social media platforms?
It's
Because
very
I like.
important because, like oh, go ahead.
All right, go ahead. Okay. I'll just I'll say my piece after your answer.
Like I was saying before, we have so many obligations to the sponsors. So it's really important to be able to create content, be able to be up on the trends, pay attention. I myself try to stay off social media as much as possible. I try to plan on my posts ahead of him. And so that when I do post, I answer some message and then I log off. But you really do have to be creative in these environments because I have seen the Miss USA organization develop so much the past few years. And each year, social media is getting more and more important, an important role that it plays. And now more than ever with Crystal Stewart and the branding for Miss USA and the social media team for Miss USA, it's even that much more important to be up on your game, up on the trends, and be relatable and know how to talk of yourself in a way that is not too complicated and being able to have it just be able to be talked about in a very smooth and easy way.
Do you think they're stalking you? Do you think Crystal Stewart and the other members of the Miss USA organization are stalking all your socials as early as now? Do you think it helps really for them to determine the ultimate Miss USA winner? Or do you think on stage performances and the closed door interviews should only matter?
I believe it does play a part, your social medias, because ultimately, Miss USA, you're representing a brand and they want to pick a delegate that will represent their brand effectively. So I do feel that your social media is part of it. You, of course, need to have a great on stage presence, and that's what I'm working on as well. And I plan to have at Miss USA. But I know I'm pretty sure Crystal Stewart is way too busy to be stalking my Instagram. But I know that there are other people who are like casually in the back, kind of like watching, sitting there, and I welcome it. It's a really fun thing, and I have loved the ability to experiment and really develop my own kind of little spin and twists on social media recently.
So, based from what you're saying, do you think uh, girls, candidates like you, or even the eventual Miss USA winner, need to possess a strong social media presence online? Or do you think otherwise?
I feel that we do need someone who is up on the trends, and she doesn't have to be someone who is an expert at social media, but someone that you can play around with and is willing to learn too. Because Miss USA, Miss Universe, they do have a social media team that I know helps the girl or helps the winner throughout her year, but making it's curated. But whoever wins needs to be just an open-minded learner and just be willing to try any trend that just gets thrown their way. Just try it out.
Yeah. I want to ask more about you. I want to take,
Okay.
I want to pick on your brain about this topic since it's your line of work right now. So, since you're a candidate, uh, competing in a pageant and you say how important it is or crucial it is for social media to be part of your tool in promoting yourself in this pageant. So I want to ask your opinion as an aspiring beauty queen. What can you advise to them who has probably a dark past up or
Mm,
who has something or who has photos incriminating photos or may have tweeted something that is not politically correct but have been very
yes.
apologetic about it already, but then as they compete in the Miss USA or probably in any other pageants, fans will try to dig them up and probably bring them back to the time of their last tweet or their last disparaging
Mhm.
tweet or or a past that will probably does not look good on their Miss USA candidacy. As a social media manager, would you advise them to archive it, to take it out, to delete it, or just let them be for the whole people and just for this woman, for this candidate to apologize for her indiscretions in the past? What are your thoughts about this? Because it's very timely and relevant, especially now. I asked this question because a lot of cases are happening like this amongst beauty queens, the aspiring beauty queens themselves competing for national
Mhm.
pageants.
Yes, that's a very difficult situation. And I do feel that before you compete for a pageant, you have to be aware of what's out there, be aware of your reputation, and be aware if there's anyone hiding in the closet that's wanting to talk about you or has any blackmail. I think it really is horrible that we do have this cancel culture mentality a lot of places and a lot of not only in sometimes in the pageant industry, but also in other fields as well. I do believe that we should hold people accountable for certain things, like certain serious things, but we do not have a redemption aspect involved in our culture at the moment. We don't have a way for people to say sorry and redeem themselves and then have it be done and then integrate them back into whatever field they're working in. So, yes, I do believe as a social media consultant that we do need to make sure, or that women needs to make sure that they are looking at their tracks and being aware of what they've done in the past. But in a bigger note, society needs to be reevaluated to see what what is the benefit of attacking people who've done harm, and is it worth it to destroy their lives over something small that maybe they just weren't mature enough to handle or should not have taken that video. So it's a bigger conversation, I would say. What do you think?
I think for me, so for you, it's not. We shouldn't punish girls for their indiscretions in the past or cancel them. Yeah.
It depends, I
Do you
would
think?
say. I would say depends.
Do you think cancel culture is a product of how social media exacerbates everything?
Yes, I do. It definitely, cancel culture is so easy through social media. And like I was saying before, I do agree that there are some things people have done that they cannot come back from. And that's just what it is. But there are some things that I feel we do cancel people so easily for, and there's no redeeming aspect. There's no redemption path. There's no, okay, this person apologizes or this person redeems what they did, and then they're back in society and we don't have to ever talk about it ever again. I don't think we have that ability at the moment. We are starting to reel back from our heightened um, cancel culture, but I feel that we still have so much to go for and so much to do to really make it a better and smoother and not a toxic environment on social media.
True, true. I want to ask more about social media, but we've been almost talking for almost an hour, and I have to
Oh,
wrap this up in in a little
ah,
while. So a lot,
yeah, I
yeah. So
know.
there's a question here. So let's engage some of our viewers here before we wrap this up. Someone Sherwin Rimando here is saying, um, is it true that you joined Miss Washington USA 5 times?
No. Hi, Sherwin. I actually competed for Miss New Jersey Teen USA 4 times from ages 14 to 17. And then I competed for Miss Washington USA 3 times and winning on my third try.
Oh, it kind of sounds like Kia, who won on her third attempt. Yeah, so yeah, that really says a lot about your determination to win. So, um,
Oh, yeah.
last few questions from Ian. Please ask Mazzy who is her top three favorite Miss USA winners. Thank you.
Thank you, Ian. Oh my gosh, there's so many to choose from. I would have to say Deshauna Barber. What's Deshauna Barber? I really do love Olivia Jordan. I love Olivia
Oh
Jordan.
yeah, me too. Me
And
too. I
right
met
to
them when they were here
oh my goodness, that's so cool.
when Miss Universe was held here
And
back in 2016, 2017.
and then my top ones is so hard. I'm trying to think. It's probably gonna either be between let's just throw Olivia Culpo because she did eventually win the Miss Universe title, and I think that's really amazing because we haven't won a Miss Universe in a long time.
Yeah. Do you think your batch can, do you think you can follow Olivia Copo's success in Miss USA soon and eventually become your country's eighth Miss Universe title holder?
I really do believe that anything is possible, and with hard work and determination, anything can be achieved. So if I have the ability to win Miss USA and hold honor, for sure I'm going to work my butt off and really do my hardest to win Miss Universe.
True. So we're now on to my last question, which is connected with what I just asked of you. Why should you be now the next Miss USA?
Thank you so much for that question. My journey with Miss USA and Miss just getting into pageants in general really started with, like I said, a way to bond with my father. And I found it a safe place for me to compete in pageants. And pageants were truly the first thing that was mine, the first thing that I cared about and wanted to incorporate and do well at. And with my background in political science and my talk show pursuing leadership, I know I can bring those things to the next level and I can really use the network that is provided by Miss USA and the resources to be an amazing person that not only brings this new style to Miss USA as someone who is about leadership, about advocacy, and about academia, but also speak upon topics that are really touchy, like politics and the news, and make it relevant and realize that there are two different sides to each coin and bring this country together.
Can I ask one more question? Because you said
Yes.
something there. Because let's face it, I don't know if you got this. I'm trying. This is my ultimate last question. I just thought of
Okay.
this question with your last answer because you're encouraging girls to become more active, or let's say open about their political beliefs, or more about just become more passionate and open-minded about politics, about saying their stuff on politics. So don't you think it goes against with a lot of what people are saying, that beauty queens should always be neutral, especially when being asked about hard-hitting topics, so as not to alienate her audience in terms of pros and the cons?
Yes. I feel that since you are a title holder, you have to really realize that you are not only representing yourself, but you're representing a state or a country or Miss Universe. And that type of leadership role you're in, you have to advocate for others as well. So right now in news, we are talking a lot about politics that is involved with human rights issues and moral issues. And I feel that you can talk about politics and do it in a way that's respectful and evaluating each side. And right now we're dealing with a lot of human rights issues, like I said. And I feel that Miss USA should be speaking out about it and should be doing something about it, should be advocating, should be volunteering. Like if I was Miss USA, I would love to be active and helping out in any way that I can. So I really do want to bring this more active environment into Miss USA that is really focused on volunteerism and not just posting pretty pictures from afar. I want to be in the community. I want to be in the trenches. And I think that's what is different from me and what I will bring into this Miss USA new great revamping is how can I better my country and not just have a country better me.
On that note, thank you so much. Well spoken. You're such a well
Thank you so
spoken
much.
lady. Wow. Thank you so much on that note. That ends it. Thank you so much for gracing my interview with your not just your beauty, but your eloquence and substance as well. For the
Thank
past
you so
hour, I've been
much.
so blown away by your depth and charisma. And it is in my hope that the judges will see the same qualities in you as you come to Reno, Nevada next month
Yes.
or in less
Let's
than a month.
go.
Go. So, yeah. Thank you so much. I had so much fun getting to know you. Can you give my warmest regards to to both Maureen and Giselle over there for allowing me to interview you? No words. Thank you so much, and hopefully we'll get to see you up there on stage in Miss USA from top 15
Woo!
all the way to top 5 until you finally win your
Let's do
dream
it.
until yeah, I can see you advancing further. I just hope you'll be styled well in the competition. I think Giselle will cover you for that. Yeah, I think styling will be very, very
Mhm.
crucial. But just judging how you have been styling yourself uh, in your in your photos online and even the way you show up right now on my interview, no doubt you'll definitely captivate well because I noticed that you have been experimenting a lot, sporting a lot of different hairstyles, whether it be in photo
Yeah.
shoots or public appearances or even these casual online interviews. You have been showcasing different facets of your beauty. So thank you. You're making us so excited. Yeah, even if you're just competing on the national stage and not yet on the international level. So thank you so much
Thank
again.
you.
Maraming salamat. That's Filipino for thank you. Virtual hugs and kisses all the way from my office here in Manila. Mwah, take care. Bye. Thanks, Mazzy.
Bye.
Let's go straight to the story. The story has Do you think the swimsuit competition of Miss Universe pageant is still relevant?